Ryan and Eric join me on this video interview to talk more about their pool AzurADA. It's one of the SundaeSwap pools that managed to get through to that top 30 list, and you can delegate to them so that you can earn your SundaeSwap tokens. I wanted to learn more about their stake pool, how they grew their pool to the size that it was, and how they managed that entire SundaeSwap voting process, and what it's like now to be an actual SundaeSwap scooper. I wanted to learn a little bit more about that process. I do know, or I have heard, that in the future that will be opened up to more operators. So getting a little bit of a heads up and some inside information around that is kind of useful. So if you want to learn more about AzurADA and what a Sunday scooper needs to do to operate this SundaeSwap network, tune into this video episode. But before you do, please make sure you give us that thumbs up, click subscribe and click on the notification bell, and you'll hear more really cool, great Cardano related content from us.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.
I have Ryan and Eric joining me from Azure Pool, a stake pool operator team that has been going on for quite a while, and I've invited them onto the podcast to learn as much as possible about their pool and how they run their operations and how they've grown so large over the last year and a bit of operations. Guys, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, so let's start off first by understanding your journey into crypto and how you discovered Cardano. So Ryan, would you like to go first?
Sure. So back in mid 2017 is when I found out about Ethereum and started looking into that and Bitcoin. And it wasn't until mid 2018 that I really studied Cardano. And once I learned about Cardano, it was game over. I became a super fan. Absolutely loved hearing about everything that Charles Hoskinson, everything that came out of his mouth. I was just like, wow, this is an amazing project. And so I was on board, mid 2018. And I tried to get Eric on board, I think back in 2018 too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, to twist his arm.
Yeah. And then it wasn't until 2019 that I think we talked about it again. And,
yeah, it's around Christmas, around this time, 2019.
Yeah. And so I've been a super fan ever since. And I actually, right here, I have this is a rock pie. And I went to Eric, and it's got the cool little Cardano logo on it. And I went to Eric, I said, hey, I want to run a stake pool on this rock pie. And I have 4 kids, and I thought this would be such a great, fun project for the 4 of us.
Yeah.
For my kids. And then Eric's like, oh, no. I work for Microsoft, we got to use Azure. And so that's kind of how we got the ball rolling.
Is that rock pie, those kits that you can buy online? It's all like pre-configured. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
I did see one of those. I was going down that path myself as well, and I bootstrapped everything together myself. I understand the process and how you got excited about doing it. But Eric, what was your story? You obviously dragged in, kicking and screaming.
Yeah, well, and again, Ryan tried once before, and I didn't bite. And then some guy at work, I remember Harry at work saying, Eric, you should buy this new crypto called Ethereum at $17. And I passed on that. And then later caught wind of what a mistake that was. So when Ryan approached me again toward the end of 2019, I thought, let's look into this. And then, I'm in IT. I've been in IT since 96. So I lived through all the .com, boom and bust, the bubble bursting. So I've seen many a company come and go. Smart people in a garage that formed had a cool idea, formed a company, and then boom, bubble popped, and they're gone. So when I started to do the research and I found out that Cardano, there's 3 companies involved. There's 200 employees, 200-ish at the time employees. They've peer reviewed it. And they've done all these white papers. And they've used like scientific principles. I'm like, that's not just 3 people in a garage.
Yeah.
That's like best practice. That's the best possible way to do anything. So from when I did that, experience and research, I was like, oh yeah, this is a keeper. There's no way this can fail. Basically, I mean there is, but it's like as good as you can get. Like you just cannot do anything better.
Absolutely solid foundations. I think that's the whole point of it. So why did you guys start the pool then? You got all excited about Cardano, peer review, it's a solid platform to work on. It sounds like the best option out there, but why on earth did you want to start a pool?
Yeah, I just, being such a huge Cardano fan and, wanting just to be involved, like Charles Hoskinson, he said, hey, grab your shovel, let's get this. If you want to contribute, grab your shovel and jump in. And so this was just before the ITN, the Incentivized Testnet. So we were talking in December of 2019, and I said, hey, the ITN's about to start. I want to be involved with Cardano. I want to start a stake pool and just see where it goes. And it just kind of grew from there. And, Eric has got such great expertise, but there's also actually 5 of us on the team. And I'm the only one on the team that doesn't work for Microsoft. So, we have, Eric and Rochelle works for Microsoft. She's a program manager and a data scientist. Taryn works for Microsoft full-time also. He's a developer on the Azure platform. And then Garrett is actually a architect for Microsoft on the Azure platform. So, it just all came together. We all love Cardano and wanted to get involved. And so I was the one that said, let's do this, let's make a go of it. And I think just getting involved at the very beginning of the ITN was just huge for us. It made all the difference in the world. So yeah, that's how it began.
I'm an IT geek and it's fun. It's like playing with toys. So for me, it was like, a new toy. That's the thing I love about IT is, you can't get bored because at minimum every 2 years, all the products change and you have to relearn it, everything. So I just love a good challenge. And, I wanted to start looking into cryptocurrency. It had been on my radar, but I hadn't really dipped my toe in. So yeah, I jumped in full steam, hundreds of hours, at the beginning, setting it all up. I don't regret a moment of it.
Sounds like a very similar story to myself. Like having those toys to play with and spending those sleepless nights just playing with something is just very, very rewarding, especially when it's working by the time the sun rises.
Right.
But back in the ITN days, it was quite a lot harder to set up a stake pool back then. Compared to now, I started our stake pool in February of 2021. There's all these tools out there, guides. It's a very straightforward step-by-step process. A lot of people find it quite easy now to set up a pool. What was it like back then, pre-ITN days, like when Charles was saying, hey, pick up those shovels, let's get to work? What was it like setting up a pool?
Well, it was a little bit like a treasure hunt, right? Trying to find down the right hunt down the right documentation and, wrapping my head around, I had a learning curve of, Jormungandr, the old code base based on Rust for the ITN, but also crypto in general. So it was definitely like drinking from a fire hydrant, lots of 2 a.m. nights, plus the day job, getting it all set up. Yeah, lots of figuring it out, found the Telegram communities, especially the stake pool operators best practice, gold mine. It's been super cool to see that community so active and, get to know virtually, so many seriously solid, skilled people dedicated to helping the Cardano community roll out. And, of course, I benefited greatly and I tried to pay it forward and have walked people through setting up their own stake pools and stuff like that. So, that's kind of how our experience was.
Yep.
And then, of course, for mainnet, different code base. So kind of back to the drawing board in some respects, but, some of the knowledge transferred. But yeah, fun times.
What was the point of the ITN? Like, why did they want to do that? So that was it to attract users to it? Was it to attract skilled people such as yourself to try and develop the blockchain?
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is they knew it was some heavy lifting and took some, it was a high technical bar. I mean, I think honestly, to get it to work, you had to have some kind of a technical background, whether it's, on the dev side or the IT side. And so I think just to make it worth their while, the operators time to put in all of the time and effort and help them build a viable product, they decided to reward the pool operators.
Gotcha. See, I completely missed this era. I was the crypto winter hit, and I went into hibernation. I didn't re-emerge until late 2020 when things were starting to pick up again. So
Sure.
what were the rewards for this ITN phase?
It was based. It had short answer. I don't remember exactly what it was per block, but there was a set amount per block, and so for each block you minted, you would get X amount of ADA virtually, and then at the end of the ITN, they translated that into real ADA and dropped it in your wallet.
How cool is that? That's really cool.
It wasn't always cool because I think ADA was 3 cents for almost the whole ITN.
That's true.
So we paid our dues for sure.
That's true.
It was not paying, the bills whatsoever. But again, we just love Cardano. We love the project. And so it didn't matter. And so at the end of the ITN, when you could move, all the coins that, all the reward coins over to mainnet, I mean, that felt good. But even then, the market cap was so small that it didn't feel like much.
Yeah. My wife called and still calls to some degree Cardano the mistress because I spend so much time with her in my bedroom, which is where my office is, my computer.
Yes.
So it was a hobby, not making any money, but I spent a lot of time with the mistress.
That's a great way to put it. But over time, all the hard work that you put in a good, year and a half ago, 2 years ago, has paid off, and the pool yourself and how things are going now, it's a lot better than what it was obviously back then. Price appreciation has increased, the pool obviously has increased as well. What does the pool look like now?
Well, I would say, I always thought of us as kind of a medium-sized pool until really recently, until SundaeSwap announced that we were selected. We got the votes, obviously, to be selected as a SundaeSwap scooper.
Congratulations.
And then a lot more delegation, came in. And, so, we never saw ourselves as a large pool, just kind of a medium-sized pool with, I think, really only 2 pools that had substantial, delegation. But, I was able to quit my job. I was able to do this full time, and so we really were serious about it and wanted to be successful. But, because we started in the ITN and people knew us from the very, very beginning, that's how we were able to grow our brand. And the fun thing was people from that worked for Microsoft would reach out to us and say, I see your stake pool is named AzurADA. Is it because you're using, Microsoft Azure platform? And it's like, yeah. And so we actually got some delegation that way and made some great, friends that way also. And so it's been really fantastic because, now we kind of feel like a large pool because of SundaeSwap, and we're grateful to, partner with them, and all 3 of our pools will, give the rewards once, they're in the testnet phase now, but once SundaeSwap is mainnet, then for the 5 epochs, any of our pools, we have Azure 1, 2, and 3, we'll give SundaeSwap tokens. So we're really grateful that, we had the community vote for us to be a SundaeSwap scoopers. And that's really how we transitioned from a medium size to a larger pool.
And one thing I need to comment about Ryan is, he mentioned at the front, he's the only one not from Microsoft. He doesn't bring technical skills to the table like everybody else, but he brings that marketing side. And so he put a ton of effort and funds out of his own pocket for marketing, hiring subcontractors, search engine optimization, a whole slew of things that, some of them, honestly, I thought, why is he doing that? But it worked. It was the right answer.
Yeah.
And so now kind of looking back, I mean, there's I mean, it's such a competitive space, and it's so hard, and it's really unfair. And I definitely know there's lots of pool operators that are super smart, smarter than me, that haven't had the same success. And it's common knowledge now, and I've come to appreciate it too, that it's not just technical skills. It's not just running a pool. You've got to get it marketed. You've got to spread the word. And that's one thing that we've had an advantage over some, is that Ryan has been super focused on that and put tons of energy into it. And you can see the fruits of it now. Like if it were just me, we probably would not have had that level of success, because I've been laser focused on the technical aspects of running the pool and done some marketing, but it probably would not have been the same result had it not been for Ryan's efforts.
I would add that my philosophy was, I want to try 10 different things, and only one of them is going to be successful for marketing. Like for instance, I had our website translated to 15 different languages, like the 15, the world speaks, 95% of these 15 major languages. And that took a lot of time and a lot of effort to hire, the freelancers to do all the translations. And I ended up scrapping it all because it wasn't helpful, in other areas. It actually wasn't as good for, search engine optimization. So I knew that going into it. It's like, to grow a brand, to grow bigger, you gotta be willing to try things and fail a lot. And if you are successful in 1 out of 10 things that you try, then, you move forward and you keep trying things. And so that's kind of been my philosophy, from the beginning. So a lot of hard work, but, this is fun, and that's the thing is, I love it. Eric loves it. So it's not really work. It's just, I love it.
Yeah, right. I think I learned the hard way that it's almost all marketing. Once the pool's up and running and it's set up, especially when you have those tools like CN tools, guild tools, it's all there. It's quite easy now for us to get through and update and create a pool. But the rest of it, oh wow, attracting delegates, looking at a marketing strategy and whatnot. I think I threw myself into it as well and tried every last single thing that I possibly could. And hence now there's a YouTube channel and you guys are on it. So, I have also tried everything under the sun to try and get things working. What has been your favorite strategy in terms of marketing? Like the thing that you thought, oh, this won't work, I'll just give it a go. But hey, wow, it had the biggest impact.
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I can think of a few things, but off the top of my head, Microsoft, has a really great cloud platform with Azure, and that's where a lot of Fortune 500 companies go to. And so, we market ourselves as enterprise level infrastructure, which we are, and Microsoft Azure is really top of the line cloud platform. And Eric undersells his skills as an operator. And so if Eric, he's worked for credit unions and doing IT security and working on servers for credit unions before Microsoft, and he just really is, he was born to be an operator. And if you have those two things, rock solid infrastructure with the Microsoft Azure cloud, and then a really capable stake pool operator like Eric, the technical side, but then also, there's 5 of us, right? So, we could have just each formed one pool and kind of helped each other out, kind of worked a little bit with each other. But, we decided, no, we're going to pool our resources together. 5 people, we're going to pool our resources together. We started with one pool. And then when that got, close to saturated, we opened another pool, and then eventually the third. And I think that, some people say, oh, well, you're multi-pool. Well, but we don't have 5 pools because we individually could have each had our own pool. So by pooling our resources, our technical skills and our marketing skills, and, just how amazing the Azure Microsoft infrastructure is, I think that's been the best. People just know that okay, these guys are serious. I think having a large pledge too. I mean, you asked about marketing, and really when people saw that we had skin in the game, when there was 5 of us and we had a larger pledge than maybe a lot of other pools, they're like, these guys are serious. These guys are committed. They have a large pledge. They have, their ducks in a row, so to speak. So I would say that's probably been the most successful aspect of it.
It is a really good point of differentiation between other pools. I think a lot of the other pools out there, they use AWS, DigitalOcean. They're the main guides that will take you through things. It's actually quite uncommon to see other pools use Azure. So such as yourself, I think you're the only ones that I can actually think of. So people may very well be attracted to that.
I know of about 4 or 5, but Azure is more expensive. It's got more features and more security. I work for Microsoft, so I'm biased, but I think third-party reviews will also prove it, that it's got the most features and the most security certifications. It's arguably the best, and so that's kind of been our focus, is kind of marketing ourselves as kind of the Cadillac per se, or something like that, where the ecosystem needs all types, right? We want the high school kid with the Raspberry Pi down in the basement. We want the people with bare metal in the garage with full redundancies, mind you, and in data centers and stuff like that, and spread across all the clouds. We need everybody, and we just kind of hung our shingle on kind of a premium offering to have very robust infrastructure with our 8 or 9 servers that we have right now.
Whew.
and our cloud, our heavy duty industrial cloud with all the automation and stuff behind the scenes. So that's kind of our little niche. We don't diss anybody else, but that's just kind of what we focus on. And some people like that, and some people want to support the little guy, and it's okay. It makes the world go round to have all different types of people involved.
So in terms of your experience with the SundaeSwap voting process, I know for myself, I did the majority of the marketing and the driving for that. I basically had a week and a half of no sleep, just going crazy, trying to get people to vote, educating people to vote, creating videos, content, and all that. What was the experience like for you guys during that voting process?
Oh yeah, it was the same. It was frantic and lots of action, and catching wind of where we were on the rankings, and oh snap, we're not going to make it. What do we do? And burning the midnight oil, so to speak, and leveraging contacts and literally phone calls to people I knew. And literally the last, I'm not exaggerating at all, the last 15 minutes of the vote, swooped in, and we made it over that line. It was a lot of work and a lot of stress.
Don't forget the NFTs either. So we offered, a free NFT for those who, we had a lot of people delegating to our pool, but to try to get them to actually vote for us, we offered a free NFT. And so that was really cool. So, we just, whatever it took, we were willing to do it.
Yep. I think everyone threw everything at it during that period of time. And I think Twitter was just full of spam, which is I filled it up with spam, so I can't say anything. Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't make it through to the top 30. We're ranked 36. So I'm still really happy with that. Like, I'm considering that we're...
Yeah, that's an accomplishment, considering there's over 3,000 pools. That's saying something.
Yeah. And at the time, we had 8 million active stake. So we wrangled. We did the phone calls too. It was all to a wire for us as well. It was quite a process, but I hope that doesn't happen again. I really don't want to go through that process again. It was quite stressful. Yeah. But what is the experience like now being a SundaeSwap scooper? So I know you have to run extra code on your pools to actually run those transactions. Are you guys running a testnet stake pool so to be able to do this? And yep, you are. Can you tell us about that process? What actually is going on with all of those top 30 operators, and what to expect as an operator if you're a scooper?
Sure. So got to remember all the things that I'm not supposed to tell, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, we have a Discord channel where the scoopers get together with the SundaeSwap team and get instructions. Right now, the testnet is all SundaeSwap scoopers, but the ball is in motion to start weaning over to the stake pool operators. So yeah, there's some software that will run on our servers that basically talks to relays, Cardano relays, and then does some magic and does the scooping to put the transactions into blocks and stuff like that. So yeah, there's some software needs to be installed that'll be provided to us. So yeah, we're all gearing up for it to work on testnet, and then obviously at some point unknown in the future it'll be mainnet, and we'll have to re-architect or move whatever. It's going to vary, right, depending on the operators. We have right now we have 3 VMs that we have in testnet that we're using, and we'll have to move the software to the production side or move the testnet servers that it's on into production, the mainnet.
Yeah.
Haven't worked through all the details yet because they're still coming. But so there's that technical side, and then there's the fun stuff of literally lots of questions all day long. Hey, when is the Sunday swap? How much Sunday am I going to make?
Should I start delegating? When's this starting? When do I get my Sunday? It's the same questions over and over.
Many times a day.
Why haven't I got my Sunday tokens yet? Where are they?
It hasn't started yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God. It must be quite painful. Like, I remember jumping on the Discord channel of SundaeSwap, and it's just like, I did canned responses. I had a little notepad where I had all the responses, and each time I logged in, I just copy paste. So it must be
30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Every 30
exactly.
seconds to paste the same answer, right?
All right. So it sounds like you need just a very little technical skill to be able to set yourself up as a scooper with installing the code or the little bit of code base that they have.
Yeah, I mean, it seems beyond. It seems on par with running a stake pool.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem to be any additional set of skills that would be required. There's no coding. It's just either running a Docker image or an executable that's going to be provided with presumably some configuration file. So kind of the same thing, just a different flavor.
Yeah, literally different flavor. Very good. Very nice. All right. So in terms of running the stake pool and marketing it, what would your top 3 tips be for anyone else that is running a stake pool at the moment?
Well, obviously social media is huge. Besides, a lot of people have questions, they're new to the ecosystem. So, be prepared to spend a lot of time, answering questions, whether that be through a Telegram, channel, or Twitter, like a direct message, or through a contact form on the website or Facebook. You pretty much, that's a minimal expectation that you have to offer good, customer support. There's a lot of people that have a lot of questions. I would say that, there's a lot of good educational content that's been created, but we need a lot more. So I think the third thing to remember, and this is not something a lot of delegators necessarily understand. When they're looking to find a stake pool, they look at the margin, they look at, are they 0% or 1% or 2%, whatever, but you get what you pay for. And so, a lot of times, pools have to start at 0% to build up some delegation, but, they're not profitable at 0%. And so, unfortunately, if you're at a 2% pool, like say we're spending a lot of money to have, really top of the line infrastructure, and it's all about producing blocks, right? So people don't always understand that we can't control luck. That's built in the protocol. You're going to have some epochs that have a lot of, great luck, some really low luck, and some in the middle. And you'll see delegators flock to you when your luck's high and leave when it's low. So really educating, I think, delegators, look, it's going to balance out over time. Over that year, we're going to get to, 5% or 4.5%, whatever the algorithm is whatever the protocol is. So luck's going to come and go, but you can't just look at luck, and you can't just look at margin, because it's really all about making blocks. And if you miss a block, if you don't make a block for whatever reason, maybe because of your infrastructure, maybe because the operator doesn't have the experience, that's going to cost you a lot more than if you go with like a 2% pool versus say like a 1% pool. So you get what you pay for. And so I think that a good marketing strategy would be for other pools would be, temporarily doing maybe the 0% promotion, but bump up your margin and say, look, there's a reason, we're at 2% or 1% or 3%. You can miss blocks if you don't have top of the line infrastructure and are dedicating a lot of time as an operator to making things work as well as they possibly can be. So one quick example would be if you have a bare metal server and you have your server in the basement and you lose power, and you don't have that redundancy of an internet connection, and a snowstorm comes and knocks out the power, you've just missed a bunch of blocks potentially. And so really paying for a fee, the delegators to pay a fee is actually kind of a great thing, because you get what you pay for and you get better infrastructure. And so that would be kind of my tip, is to try to market that aspect of it too, because if you're at 0% for a really long period of time, it's hard to survive. You're not making any money. So
yeah, I mean, the one thing I have kind of dovetails into the marketing piece, in that from a purely objective point of view, there's over 3,000 pools, only 1,000-ish are making it, so to speak, so that there's 2,000. So if, and I've told people this, if you're coming into the landscape, what differentiates you from the other 2,000 that are not making it? And I make sure that they understand, roughly 1.5 million to 2 million total stake to have regular blocks. They're going to have the small pool penalty until they're about 5 million. That eats the 340 fee eats into the delegator's profit. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that, in addition to the technical stuff. And of course, there's lots of great community resources and tool sets that make it, from a technical standpoint, much more palatable. But as we've seen and has been mentioned before, technical alone will not make it. You've got to have the business side. Look at it as a business. At this point, it's mature enough. It is a business. There are people in operations that approach it as a business, as we do. And so, you're going to have expenses, marketing expenses. You need to have a plan. You need to put time and effort into it. It's not, you build a stake pool and they will come because you look, it's easy to look like the other ones that are the same stake level and stuff like that, unless you bring something that can really make you stand out.
Yeah, most definitely. And it is a lot of effort putting all of this, all the content together, the education and everything. I know I essentially work on this full time myself, just doing the videos, the content and whatnot. So it's
I've put over 40 hours in the last six or so days. I've been keeping time.
Right. Okay.
40 hours.
Crazy.
Yep.
Right. So what do you hate most about stake pool operations? Maybe could be your own experiences, or what do you dislike in general in regards to being an operator? There must be something you don't like.
I mean, certainly, I'm just by nature, I'm very conscientious. I'm customer focused. I've been a consultant, a customer facing consultant, in addition to being in the trenches. So I think about the delegators. Some people have a lot of money invested in their delegation. So I really feel, and I know the whole team feels this way, is we take delegation seriously. So we want to make sure that we have top of the line processes and infrastructure and stuff like that. And I guess, like, so I went to Disneyland a couple of weekends ago, and I'm checking my phone the whole time, even though we've never had a hiccup. Everything's fine. We've got these processes, but I can't help because of my conscientiousness. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm checking my phone. Oh, we're still minting blocks. Things are still, I still got the green lights, you know, everything like that. So at some point, you know, I just got to let go and trust the processes and the products that are in place. So sometimes, you know, it can be a little time consuming, but again, I perhaps am, you know, because of just my personality, I'm super customer focused, and I'm sure that there are stake pool operators that totally their operations are great and there's no problems, and they don't check their phone, and that's fine because, you know, technology can do that, right?
Yeah. I have to say it stresses me out. You know, I know my block schedule, you know, roughly on top of my head. It's like, I should be getting 2 this morning. Where's the beep on my phone? It hasn't come through yet.
Yeah, I think that, you know, there's a lot that you can do in terms of monitoring and remediation and even automation. And we're fortunate to have, you know, the 5 of us running the stake pool, and especially technical people, because, you know, Eric can go on vacation because there's really a lot of smart people on our team that can, you know, step in if need be. And it's also like Garrett, for instance, he's gone through the Plutus Pioneer program. He was in the first cohort. So besides working full-time for Microsoft as an Azure architect, you know, he's having a lot of fun, you know, with smart contracts.
That's great.
You know, and so we're like, okay, well, what can we offer our delegators from a smart contract, you know, point of view? What are some other projects that we can, you know, kind of boost our brand with? And so that, you know, that's pretty exciting stuff. So we're really fortunate that way to have such a great team.
So is there any cool or interesting projects that you have in the pipeline that you can share?
We're always looking to collaborate with others. And I don't mean just others, you know, stake pools. I don't mean, you know, like we reach out, we really do. We reach out, and whether it's to put together educational materials or, you know, work with other stake pools. Charity is a big thing. We don't have, you know, one huge charity per se that, you know, we focus on, but we help out other stake pools with their charities. And so, yeah, maybe there'll be some announcements in the future.
All right. Watch this space then, hey?
Yep.
All right, brilliant. Last and final question. How do you see Cardano over the next few years? Where do you see it from where it is now to the next year as smart contracts and more dApps release and future so forth as we start scaling? How do you see it? What's your perfect vision of Cardano in the next 2-3 years?
I love the quote from Charles Hoskinson that he had at his last AMA. And he basically said, and he's talking about other cryptocurrency projects, he said, you know, they're playing checkers and we're playing chess, and they don't even know we're playing chess. I think that says it all right there. I think that in the next year, hopefully less, but maybe more, I think that, you know, the broader cryptocurrency space and other projects are going to realize, wow, what Cardano said they were going to do a few years ago, they did it, and they solved, you know, the blockchain trilemma, and they are extremely secure, extremely robust, extremely decentralized, all those things that are super important. They thought it through. And it's beautiful. It's elegant. And so all of the innovation that is going to be coming because of the smart contracts and decentralized applications are going to run, you know, really well and really smoothly. You know, of course, there'll be hiccups here and there and issues here and there, but not like the massive ones we're seeing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Every day when I look in the crypto news, you know, there's, you know, a hack here or billions of dollars locked up in a smart contract there. And I'm like, you know, Cardano, you know, they did it right, and they did it right from the beginning.
Right.
And so I just see Cardano potentially taking a lot of market share because of use and utility and adoption in the next year. Yeah. And, you know, I don't mean just Ethereum and Bitcoin, because there is enough, you know, we're big enough, crypto is big enough for everybody. but I just see it, as being, we're playing chess. We're going to do really good in this next year.
Yep. Yeah, and coming from business, the consulting point of view, I've dealt with enough Fortune 500 customers to know that, to a large degree, businesses are about the bottom line. So if a blockchain, any blockchain can come along and do everything that the current blockchain we're using can do, bigger, stronger, faster, cheaper, better, at some point after it's been a proven technology, there's going to be momentum to switch over because it's going to improve the bottom line and increase profit. So as Cardano continues to reach the milestones, I can't help but expect that, there's going to be industry adoption, in addition to a lot of the grassroots that's going on now. And then at some point, it's just going to start gaining market share and, may not take over the whole world, but it's going to definitely increase its footprint substantially.
Why not? Let's take over the whole world. Don't world domination. That's what we're aiming for. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That's right.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. It's been a pleasure learning more about Azure.
Likewise.
And learning more about yourselves as well. I'll put all the links to your pool, everything in the show notes. So if people want to find out more, they can just click on those links and contact you guys, find out more about the stake pool and learn how to delegate to you guys, especially for SundaeSwap as well.
Yeah, thanks. And we pride ourselves on being very accessible. So Telegram, Twitter, email, we do read and we do respond. So yeah, reach out anytime.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Take care. Thank you.
Really hope you found that interview interesting. I've put all the links down below to the AzurADA website and all of their social channels as well. So if you want to reach out to them and learn more about their stake pool, please do. Now, I also did a guide in regards to staking to SundaeSwap pools, top right hand corner there, and you can find out more about what pools you need to stake and delegate into so that you can earn your SundaeSwap tokens. Now, the whole process hasn't started yet. To me, at this point in time, it's almost Christmas. I don't think it will be launched till after Christmas. I could be wrong, but we might see it more so in the new year in January at some point in time, just because a lot of people will be taking leave at this point in time, spending time with family, doing what they need to do there. So it's most likely, I predict, will be later in January when we'll see this one SundaeSwap ISO actually start. But in the meantime, there are a lot more ISPOs, other ways and other places where you can delegate your ADA to earn different rewards. Again, video about that in the top right hand corner. You can find out all about these ISPOs, other places and other projects that are raising funds with the delegation model. Delegate your ADA. ADA never leaves your wallet. You don't get your rewards in some cases, but you do get these new tokens and you do get to fund these projects and participate in their ecosystems. So it's a really cool, novel way of earning a different token and supporting different projects without losing your initial stake value as well. So it's a very cool thing to do. All right, that's it for this podcast interview. So please make sure you give us that thumbs up, click subscribe, click on the notification bell, and hear more from us soon.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.